I carry my delirious doctor, Isabel, from Hougoumont and under to Herbert Randolph while he mount my horse. When he passer up to me, her torn scare fall away and we see proof of abuse she has suffered at the hands of Villemen. My rage is limit. I want to run my sword through every English soldier in sight. But he must think of Isabel and get her to safety and comfort. Her body will heal, but what of her mind? Poor Isabel.
Isabel Le Bon has suffered outrage at the hands of English men, and my mind is heavy with sorrow and guilt. I failed to stop her kidnap, and her tragedy is the result of my weakness. Never shall I mention this monstrous incident. It shall remain my secret. With an effort, I drag my mind away from Isabel Le Bon. Though my heart is burdened, I turn my horse towards the English camp. I must know the fate of my sons and nephew.
A very relieved father finds George and me in my tent, recovering from our wounds. He's keen to see August, but August is depressed over the incident with the French maid, and is on a long walk to clear his head and assuage his conscience.
I agonize over the disheveled, delirious, yet exquisitely beautiful French maid we assaulted, and then abandoned at Hougoumont. It will turn my life upside down, but I decide to ignore Daniel's orders and honor my pledge to marry the girl. However, when I reach Hougoumont, I discover the girl's father has collected her, and this makes me rethink my decision. I am weak and selfish, but most of all, a coward. What if I pursue the girl and she refuses my hand and turns against me, identifying me as one of her 3 attackers? Daniel and George would soon be implicated, and our shameful actions could ruin our reputations and may even see us dishonorably discharged, which disgrace would destroy father. And so, I walk away from Hougoumont Farm, ignoring my responsibility to the beautiful French maid, and resigning myself to a life of guilt and regret.
My beloved August and I have been sweethearts since childhood. We were engaged to be married in the month before August left to join Daniel as an officer in Wellington's army. August means everything to me. I revel in his attention, love, and devotion. But my darling August returns from the Battle of Waterloo a different man. The light is now absent from his bright blue eyes, and he harbours a misery he struggles to hide and will not share.
The French maid at Hougoumont pervades my every idle moment. Her helpless, battered yet still beautiful image hovers just behind my eyes, ready to invade my foremind the moment I relax my guard. Guilt and shame ride overlords of my existence. Dear Dorothy tries to rouse my spirits. She's planning our wedding, but how can I marry Dorothy when my mind forever drifts to an auburn-haired, caramel-eyed, exquisite French maid?
My darling August's ardour has dampened. I blame the war. It has left him traumatized. But I shan't lose the man I love. I employ all my wiles to bring him to the altar. August can't ignore my devotion, and he's too good a man to break his promise. I am patient. I shall wait until time and my unwavering loyalty heals August and restores our love. I am determined he will enjoy happiness once more.
My obsession with and adoration of the French maid makes me realize my love for Dorothy is born of habit, not passion. But the dear girl adores me, and I cannot betray that generous soul and be the cause of more pain. And so, Dorothy and I are married in a fine affair and depart on a European grand tour for our honeymoon. Though aware of my despondency and distracted thoughts, dear Dorothy pretends all is well and does everything in her power to pull me back to the light-hearted August of old.
I marry my dearest love, and although our honeymoon is not the joyous affair I'd expected, I am August's wife, and I do not complain. On our final day in Paris, a tall, elegant Frenchman approaches August as we board our coach to depart the capital. He has a business proposition for August's father, Herbert, and leaves his card. August is impressed with the well-spoken gentleman and promises to relay the request.
Daniel and I work part-time in Father's building company, Randolph & Sons, London. At a family lunch, soon after Dorothy and I return from our honeymoon, Dorothy announces she is with child, and Father and Daniel are delighted. It is at this lunch that Dorothy reminds me of the French gentleman's desire to present father with a business proposal. I produce the gentleman's card, and father is interested and chuffed that his company's good reputation has spread to France. A Frenchman, Monsieur Fidèle Blanchette, is interested in forming a branch of my building company in Paris. Written communication with Monsieur Blanchette and his lawyer presents the plan as generous, legitimate, and promising. And so I accept the offer, and after preliminary exchanges, I travel with Daniel to Paris to sign contracts and finalize the agreement. Upon arrival at Monsieur Blanchette's office, we are told Monsieur Blanchette has been called away on a family matter, and his representative, Monsieur Baptiste, will oversee the signing and ratification of the contract. I am disappointed not to meet Monsieur Blanchette. Our introduction must wait until my next visit to France.
Father returns to England, but I remain in Paris, eager to view its treasures. Monsieur Baptiste advises me of Monsieur Blanchette's return to the capital, and we meet for lunch. Like Auguste, I am impressed with Blanchette's charm and regal demeanor. Father need not worry about an association with this fine French gentleman. Indeed, I am so enthusiastic about Monsieur Blanchette and the lifestyle in France, I ask Father if I can move to Paris to work in the Paris branch.
My wealth and prestige are growing. Owner of Randolph & Sons London, I am now also half-owner of its sister company, Randolph & Sons Paris. Daniel and Auguste give glowing references about my partner, Monsieur Blanchette, filling me with confidence about the new French venture. And although I'd prefer Daniel to remain in London with his family, I do not stop him establishing himself in a townhouse in Paris to work alongside Monsieur Blanchette.
Daniel's move to Paris increases my workload, but I welcome the busy days and long nights. Without distractions, my mind travels to the image of an auburn-haired girl with caramel eyes, and I fall into despair and feel nauseous from the weight of my guilt.
Auguste seems to prefer the office to his home and pregnant wife. He suffers from bouts of depression against which I am powerless. It is difficult, but I wait patiently until he surfaces from these awful episodes of blackness and once again shares his world with me. Though mostly absent from our home, Auguste is faithful and kind, and on the nights he returns before I retire, I reiterate my love, and he reciprocates with his admiration.
My cousins, Daniel and August, now work in my uncle's company. I'd prefer not to work at all, but my father wants me trained in running the sugar plantation in Barbados. I've seen little of my father in my short life, and would have liked to continue the infrequent relationship. Unfortunately, father has other ideas, and soon after my return from Waterloo, he orders me to Barbados and a future as a sugar farmer. Blast him.
It's unbearably hot the day young George arrives in Barbados. He is sullen and doesn't conceal his displeasure in the tropical island and its profusion of African workers. But his resentment quickly vanishes when we reach the plantation, and I spies a bevy of young girls lined up on the big house veranda. The greedy boy picks two for his entertainment, and I'm proud to see he's a chip off the old block.
Hidden in the shadows just inside the door of the big house, I secretly watch the disgusting scene on the veranda. Master Bernard's son, George, has arrived to learn his family's vile trade, but George is lazy and will fail. Master Bernard is cunning and forceful, but his son is a poppycock, a young fool whose arrogance can be easily manipulated. My time has come.
I am Antelope, renamed Mary. Watch for further episodes or read the complete saga of my incredible journey. Antelope by Marea Whitley. Available at Amazon and other online bookstores.